this is getting out of hand as the Chicago Bulls have once again been in a situation that is absolutely insane in regards to trades for this team that would definitely make fans be very curious on what Arturas Karnisovas is doing, especially as the Bulls still have to navigate this Josh Giddey situation, and there's a lot to go over. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Bulls Digest. It's Chris here. We're going to jump right into things as always. If you guys are part of that 76% that's not subscribed to Bulls Digest, make sure to subscribe for daily Chicago Bulls updates. We got a bunch of fun videos coming at you every single day, and you do not want to miss all the latest Bulls news and updates and everything in between. So make sure to have those post notifications on, and let's jump into it. There's a lot to go over on the Chicago Bulls, as a lot of fans are wondering what exactly is going on with this Bulls team right now. It's obvious a rebuild is underway, but Arturas Karnisovas does have some important situations that he has to navigate. One of the most, if not the most important one, in my mind, it is the most important one, is Josh Giddey's future with the Bulls. The two sides are not at odds right now at all, and they're trying to figure out what the best situation is for them so they could agree to a contract and keep Giddey in a Bulls jersey after being the best player on the team last season from game 1 to game 82. And with all that in mind, there's a lot to dive into there. But on top of that, the Bulls have constantly been linked to young forward Jonathan Kuminga, who has given Bulls reasons to both be interested in the moves, or Bulls fans, I should say, reasons to be interested in the moves, but also reasons to completely crash out over this whole situation, as what is being pitched right now is effectively a reason for Bulls fans to lose their minds because they have so much more important stuff to deal with. However, Jonathan Kuminga has constantly been linked to the Bulls, and Brett Sigel just added on top of that by adding in a mock trade in regards to the Bulls being one of the few teams that would actually be an option for Kuminga to get traded to. Pitching a trade where Jonathan Kuminga signs a 4-year, $115 million contract with about $24 million per year on a base 1 salary, and Trayce Jackson-Davis in return for Ayo Dosunmu, Jalen Smith, Chicago's 2029 first-round pick, lottery protected, becomes 2 second-round picks in 2029-2030, if not conveyed, and their 2028 second-round pick. Now, this is a very interesting trade for a few different reasons. One, because of that lottery protection, it means if it doesn't work out for the Bulls, by the time everything's all pretty much said and done, Kuminga will be on an expiring contract, and if the Bulls aren't in the playoffs in 2029, they will be able to retain that first-round pick. However, things could get hairy. As the Bulls trying to rebuild, they'd find themselves in a situation where they'd probably be using that pick in some sort of trade so they could continue to get better, as that's the hope of the plan by then. However, what we'd be seeing up to this point would be the Bulls then not being able to trade a pick because it's handcuffed to the Golden State Warriors. Also, bringing in the trade rule, which would affect their 2028 and 2030 first-round picks, and subsequently the 2031 first-round pick, just because they made this move so far in advance that it could create problems later down the road, depending on when down the road actually is. So, obviously, this is a wild trade, and Brett Sigel did talk about the reasoning behind this, saying, out of the limited possibilities that remain for Jonathan Kuminga and the Warriors this offseason, the easiest path to mutually splitting ways would be by a sign and trade with the Bulls. Then again, Chicago has their own restricted free agency problem to figure out with Josh Giddey. If they were interested in Kuminga, there would still be a path to acquiring the Warriors forward and remaining below the tax line for the 2025-26 season. Now, this is not an indictment on Jonathan Kuminga, who I think if he kind of switches teams, he could really break out. He put up 15 points per game last year, 4.6 rebounds and 2 assists, shot 45% from the field and 30.5% from 3. He's not been a good shooter, but he does have solid defensive potential and good potential at attacking the rim. Kuminga went into the NBA with very high potential, and it felt like he's been yet to reach that guy yet. But there's been moments where he's absolutely looked like he does have a wonderful future in the NBA, and the Bulls would give Kuminga the touches to help do it, while also creating a nice little Kuminga-Buzelis forward duo that would be the future of the Chicago Bulls team, while also having Josh Giddey, creating a nice core as well, even though you would be spending a good amount of money on it, banking on that it works. Now, Sigel also mentioned that there are a few things to discuss regarding the Bulls and a potential sign and trade involving Jonathan Kuminga. For starters, the Warriors would likely be thrilled if Kobe White were included in a potential offer. However, If Kobe White were to be included in that offer, word from the NBA Summer League surrounding Chicago is that the Bulls value White a lot and would want to keep him next year next to Giddey in the backcourt and for years to come after that when White becomes a free agent. From the Bulls' perspective, they would love to trade veteran center Nikola Vucevic, whom the organization has been looking to trade since the start of last season. While the Warriors previously showed interest in Vucevic, that is not the case anymore. Golden State has not been pursuing a trade for Vucevic, and they would not want to find a way for him to be included in a potential deal or any potential deal involving Jonathan Kuminga. So that's where things get difficult. And then you look at the Bulls situation here. What they'd be trading in Dosunmu is a guy who put up 12 points per game last year, 3.5 rebounds, and 4.5 assists. He's 25 years old and should be on a more contending team now, and it does make sense to consider moving him. He doesn't not fit with the Bulls, but it feels like he could be in a better role if he wasn't on the Bulls, is kind of the feeling that it's kind of the feeling that we get right now, shooting 49% from the field and 33% from three, being a good defender. He does add a lot to any team that would be trying to win basketball games, and Dosunmu would just be someone who does have some value on the market, but you'd have to decide, do you want to move him for Jonathan Kuminga and that potentially dangerous contract? On top of that, you then move Jalen Smith, and when you're trying to move Vucevic, that makes things difficult, since Jalen Smith would become your starting center unless you're acquiring someone else for Vuce who's going to play center instead. And unless that's a young guy, that's probably not happening. So you have Jalen Smith, who's putting up 8 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 1 assist per game, getting nearly a block. He's a great dunker and has the ability to shoot the three, even though it's not the highest efficiency right now at 32.4%. He shot 46.6% from the field, and the Bulls would give Smith a good chance to get things really going if they were to trade Vooch, but instead they'd be moving him on to the Golden State Warriors, who do need more big man depth as well, so Smith would get a chance to break out and be on a team that he actually might fit better on. However, the Bulls like Smith, and that would be an issue there. Meanwhile, the Bulls do have to figure out this situation with Josh Giddey as well. Giddey put up 14.6 points last year, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists. Got 1.2 steals per game, and the shooting got a whole lot more efficient as he shot 39% on corner threes, 38% from three, and 46.5% from the field. Josh Giddey became the centerpiece of the Bulls after Zach Lavine got moved, and with all this in mind right now, Giddey is still the future. It's just a matter of finding that situation where you could get Josh Giddey back on a deal that everyone can agree upon. And with all that in mind, do you really want to go and throw a wrench into those plans by moving Ayo for Jonathan Kuminga? It doesn't make a ton of sense to me right now where everything stands for the Chicago Bulls to go do this trade. I'm not really anti-Kuminga. I'm anti all the packages for Kuminga because a lot of them don't make sense. Yeah, trading Ayo is not the worst idea in the world for Jonathan Kuminga. I know a lot of Bulls fans are going to hate me for saying that, and you certainly are entitled to your own opinion, in which I could totally understand the argument of not trading Ayo for Kuminga, because again, you could definitely trade Ayo for someone who you're not going to end up getting handcuffed to a massive contract and then also be giving up a first-round pick. It feels like a whole lot, so I get it. I don't think this trade makes the most sense for the Bulls right now, because unless Kuminga breaks out, you're looking at a big swing and a miss for the Bulls right here. And it's just, are they really in position to be giving up first-round picks? You should be trying to get more firsts. I hate this trade personally. I hate that the Bulls keep getting connected to Jonathan Kuminga. It does not make sense, and it has to stop. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day. I'll catch you on the next one.